And the Iowa City landfill will be closing today at 10:30. Hawkfanatic.com is brought to you by Patrick Eads and his great staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike Z. Keys for Cars. GT Car and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dream Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance, Remodeling and Plumbing. Dr. Lance Forbes Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter, and from Hawkfanatic.com, it's Pat Harty.
It is, and Pat and Tommy are going at it here.
We're talking weather. We don't have any apps.
They are going at it.
We're talking weather.
We have no apps.
Yeah, I'm
no apps.
Trying to make
All
sense of the
mace.
forecast. Humid, 80s, and snow on Sunday.
Yeah.
What does the weather alarmist say?
Huh?
Not just snow, but, I mean, like vertical or horizontal snow with drifts.
Snowzilla.
And winds and just cry and hide.
It isn't going to be.
But so it is going to get below freezing again here, though, shortly. When?
Well, if it's going to snow, it's going to get to.
I know, but it can't snow in the 50s.
It doesn't mean it's below 32. If it can snow warmer
low
than
of 31.
Okay, it doesn't normally snow in 36 to 37 degrees. It's
Not
usually pretty
normally.
But then it goes up to, then you get some snow showers in the morning.
So it's
early
going to
on
basically
Monday,
be a
and it
little
goes up to
slush,
48.
chance of slush at like 4 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything.
But the forecast said, hey, a chance of snow, and you're like, oh, my God, snow in late March, April. This is incredible.
We've had.
I know we have. I know. But it's humid today. It's hot out. It's almost uncomfortable. Do you have your air on?
Yes.
I figured you would. It's warm.
No, I haven't had it on yet.
I bet you have it on today because it's humid.
I have it on today. It snowed in May. I was in 1972.
I do remember that.
Hell of a snowstorm.
I do remember that in May. I'm not granted it was gone in a day, but no, I do. Wasn't it like 4 or 5 inches?
Yeah, we were in Jan and I were snowed in at KLEU in Waterloo.
I mean, because by then they're not ready. They've haven't they put the winter stuff away to where, or is that always available 24/7 year round?
No, they usually put it away.
But I do remember though a huge snowstorm we had in April. Do you remember the one in April?
Yeah.
That was like 73 maybe. I mean, we were out of school for like 2 days. I remember that. It was just massive because there's pictures of me and my brother digging tunnels in like 5 feet of snow by our house in Beaverville.
Spring in Iowa, boys.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, when I walked out this morning, though, I'm like, God, it's humid out.
You can have all 4 seasons in the same day.
So when you watched Wapsie, I bet you weren't cold.
Not at all. Very comfortable.
Until you went and saw Ray, then you were cold.
Short sleeve, no Ray's in Kansas City.
Oh.
I like the 4 seasons.
The
Did you
band
too, Frankie Valley?
Yeah.
No. Is that Oh What a Night?
Well,
that was Frankie.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Come
Jeez,
on.
they had a ton of hits.
Yeah, but
You were
Name another one. Name another hit.
Dawn, Sherry, Big Boys, Big Girls Don't Cry.
Yeah.
Okay, Sherry.
Yeah.
God.
1962.
I wasn't even born yet.
Listening to it under my
I wasn't born.
transistor radio under my pillow.
That's about the time Jimmy Page was doing that skiff thing.
Yeah.
Skiffle.
What's your name? James Page. Then 10 years later, he's got hair down to the middle of his back, wearing sequins and playing Stairway to Heaven. Seriously.
Yeah.
He really changed over about a 10-year period. So, but Hawks. That's why we're here, Hawks.
We're going to have Payton Sandfort going to be on at 10.
Well, that'll be fun. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. A lot to talk about. He's got double shoulder surgery coming up here. Said they have to do them 6 weeks apart. I go, they can't do that stuff at the same time. And he's like, well, no, because what did he say? It'd be hard to do something. Well, it'd be hard to function without able to lift either arm. He said it a little better than I did. And he's probably not going to say the same thing on the radio, but it was pretty funny. It made me laugh. But, yeah, he's going to get both his shoulders fixed. He broke his wrist this year. I mean, he went through a lot.
And so that'll be the first week of April. He'll get the first one done probably?
I would assume so, yeah. He can give you all the specifics. And what's funny, though, is, he went through all his stuff. He said it was really bad, the West Coast trip. He said that's when the stuff happened. But what's incredible, though, is think about what he did in his last game.
Yeah. No,
he scored 30 points.
Payton was a warrior.
He really was. And a skilled player. And when you combine the fact that he was 6'8", and he does, I'm going to ask him how much he grew since he got to Iowa. He looks like he's grown at least an inch since he got here.
It does, doesn't it?
It doesn't happen much in your 20s, but it does happen sometimes. And, no, it's just, I wished it would have ended better for him. Hawkeye fans love him, though, and he loves being a Hawk. And we'll see what his thoughts are about the future. And I think he's another Heinrich guy. Like I said, he's a finance academic guy.
Peyton's going to do fine, whether it's in basketball or not.
What was Brad's answer again when I asked him about algebra as a freshman?
He just laughed and said a lot sooner than that.
Yeah.
Is that what
he made fun of you?
Well, that's what I thought. Because most normal people, not like brain dudes like him, take algebra as freshmen, right?
Well, that's the curriculum.
I took it when it was offered,
But there are people that are, know early that they're really good at math. They do that stuff years ahead of us.
But he's not typical of your average person.
No.
Yeah, so, okay.
No.
Yeah, he was making fun of me, but I represent the true American. He represents the really smart ones.
I can't remember a damn thing from there, and I think I got like a B+ in it or something. I really did. And I can't remember one damn thing about it. X over Y.
Well, why would you? You're a radio guy.
Yeah, it has no relevance.
You haven't had
to
if you had to use it.
Well, you would think you'd remember something.
Well, I don't remember anything about Spanish, and I took it for 4 years.
Oh, I remember a lot of Spanish.
No, I don't at all.
Taco Tuesday.
I mean, I see, and,
I remember a lot of Spanish and no math. Other than, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division.
Yeah,
I'm
was
proficient at.
We had an actuary on our dorm floor my freshman year, and he was just incredible. And he was going to be an actuary. And I don't know what he does now, but he was
probably an actuary.
Well, that's what he was majoring in. And I'm like, what is that? I thought it had something to do with growing plants. And then he explained it. And I'm like,
that's statistics and probability and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and then my answer was, well, I'm a journalism major, and part of the reason I am is because I don't have to take math. So we were coming from completely. different angles, And
their brains are completely different, just like Addie O'Grady, I think, is a chemical engineer, and Taylor McCabe is a structural engineer. Building, civil engineer. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys. I have a comment on the math discussion you guys are having, and then a couple other things.
Sure.
So I'm fortunate enough, my son is an 8th grader and is currently taking geometry at his school. So he was identified in 4th grade to be advanced in math. So when he got into 5th grade, he took 5th, 6th math, 6th grade, 7, 8, and then algebra, geometry. So it's great that these schools identify these kids early, so they're challenged.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yep.
And hey, Pat, I did want to make a comment, and I don't know how Captain's going to respond to this, but I did see where Brommelkamp tweeted this morning he was going to have Ben McCollum on his show this morning. So sounds like you need to step it up and see what you can do since Brommelkamp beat you to the punch.
No, actually, he didn't. I told him I wanted to have him on next week.
Cool. Great. Hey, one other comment I wanted to make.
Well, that was
why am I going to get upset?
Yeah, why would we care if Todd had him on? Hopefully you were joking, because that's kind of.
No, I think it's great. I didn't know if
he's doing tons of radio shows, but I talked to the SID about having him on next week when there's a little separation from the time he had his press conference, because I want more to happen. But whatever.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and I'm looking forward to having him on. So,
good.
Hey, the other thing I wanted to comment about, you've really mentioned a lot of good things that have happened with all the sports this year. One sport I think you needs a lot of credit to is women's gymnastics. They did qualify for regionals. That's a lot of credit to Jen Llewellyn because she didn't walk into a great situation either.
No, she didn't, but she's got a lot of talent on this team, and she's doing good things with it, and they're really fun to watch, too.
Yeah, I was really happy for them, qualifying for regionals. That's a great step for her program, and, 1 year in and qualify for regionals is a great thing.
You bet. No, she's, from what I can tell, she's doing a great job, yep.
Absolutely. Hey, great show, guys. I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
And she was a fun interview when we had her on, Jen. And
She was very enthusiastic.
What was the name of the gymnast we had on just recently?
We had on.
Was it Masella?
Yeah.
Gianni Masella?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am very upset.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't even.
Maselli?
I hadn't even. What a weird. I mean, but whatever. But no, I specifically said to him I'd like to have him on sometime next week. With a little separation between the press conference and. But if Todd had him on, great. That's fine.
And let's let him get a little more work done.
I thought he was joking, but I don't think he was.
No.
I just thought that was a weird comment.
I don't know.
And I saw on Twitter that Todd would have him. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But no, I've got a message to James. I'd like to have him on next Wednesday or Friday. Would be my preference. I'd like to have if Monday's fine, but I'd like to have a little more separation between.
Now,
the
James is my neighbor. I can go over and strong arm him.
Go strong arm him, but strong arm him for Wednesday or Friday.
Okay.
But like I said, if we had to Monday, that would work too.
I don't pay attention to. I've said it 1,800 times. I don't pay attention to the other stations.
I don't really either, and that's no disrespect.
No,
none whatsoever.
I'm just not listening to the radio at 7 in the morning.
No, I don't want to react to what other stations.
I think he was trying to get a reaction from you or
me. I mean, whatever. I like Todd.
I do too.
I do too.
We all do. I don't care.
And I'm glad Ben went on there. He's gone. He's done a couple radio shows since.
But seriously, the SOB's been off for 20 minutes.
Oh, that again. All right.
Lazy Todd.
But yeah, I just and the other thing is we have to fit him into our 9 to 11 window too. But no, James has got. I've got a message out to him, and hopefully, like I said, Wednesday or Friday. There's no auction next Friday, is there?
No.
Okay.
The 11th.
Yeah, because hopefully if we get him on a week from now or 5 days from now, we may know what Price is doing. We may know what Josh Dix. There may be more stuff on film. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, he did just meet with us for 45 minutes on Tuesday.
But I really don't pay attention to what other stations are doing because then when you do that, I have found you react. And if you react to something someone else is doing, you might screw up what people come to you for. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I don't have a problem with Todd. I'm glad that Todd had him on. That's fine. It's not like Iowa said no. He's only going on Todd's show. He's not going on your show. I mean, I asked to have him on next week. Yeah. I don't. Did you recognize that caller?
No,
I didn't either. But no, I thought he was joking at first. But
people understand.
Oh, he might have been. I think he was just jabbing you a little bit.
Well, he didn't want to upset Captain.
But what the people understand that Captain can get upset at the. Even if Captain's upset, you don't know the Captain's really upset.
What do you call them, bits?
Now I can tell.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell. I mean, I've seen your bits, and I've been.
Yeah, I mean,
you decide the boundaries. I know that.
Well, but it goes along with. I'm not really a captain.
No, but a lot depends on what your mood is, too. Your boundaries on the air often depend on what's going on off the air. What kind of mood you're in. I know that. I've learned to work with you.
Yeah. You've learned to work.
I just thought it was funny the guy didn't want to offend Captain. Because then
you came in here before we went on the air, and you said, "Hey, we're going to have him on next week," and you said because nothing has transpired yet. You got a lot of questions when something does.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to have a little more separation between the press conference and having him on.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to be able to answer.
But if that means I got beat to the punch, I mean, I just thought that.
At this point, really, all there is to report on the team is people are in the portal, but it ain't nobody except for Sturts,
who's 35th on the NBA latest mock draft, and who's testing the NBA draft. Sturts
he might not even be here.
He may not even be here. We'll see. A lot's going to depend on his workouts.
So
I've seen one where he's 35th, one where he's 48th. You get a two-way contract, that's about $600,000. I don't know if Iowa will pay him more than $600,000.
I bet they do.
Well, then where's the other money coming from?
Well, they got $4.5 million to work with.
Well, roughly. I mean, where are you hearing that?
From the $2.5 million in the settlement and the almost $2 that they have in the NIL.
Oh, okay, yes, but you just there's almost a fifth of it right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be it's good. And the settlement stuff, that still has to happen. I mean, it's going to, but, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, because if they end up having to give one player like $1 million, it's going to be tough to build.
Yes,
It's going to be tough to build a roster. It is. I thought you had read some, but yeah, you're using just the math.
Yes.
And
well, I mean, the numbers being thrown out on the internet are ridiculous.
well,
And they can't be right, can they?
I don't know. I mean, I don't pay obviously as much attention as you do.
I mean,
what do you do? Internet?
Kansas offering Josh Dix $2 million.
I mean, where'd you see that? I mean,
on the Kansas board.
yeah. See, I don't go to the boards looking
I know.
for stuff like that. It's just because it's probably insanity, and then
But it might be true too.
it might be, but $2 million, I would be stunned if they're offering him $2 million. If they do, that great for him. I don't understand them, but they're desperate. They didn't have they're struggling to live up to their standards now. This NIL's kind of caught up with them. They didn't have a good year, but yeah, I mean,
And they spent plenty of money last year.
what would drive you to go to a Kansas message board?
To see what they're saying about Josh Dix.
Okay.
And now it's morphed into.
I guess I'm the one who should be doing stuff like that, and yet that would never cross my mind.
Well, because now he's also visiting. Josh is visiting Illinois as well.
I've seen that, but
Yeah.
that's been reported.
Yes.
But he's, with Josh I'm surprised he's not visiting Purdue. And there was talk that he was going to visit Michigan State, but I haven't seen that. But the thing is, Michigan State's still playing.
Well, that's true too.
I mean, but one of the reports I saw is that Michigan State was very interested in him. But
He's a good player.
can't do anything you really can't do anything visit-wise until their season's over.
Yeah, he's a real good player.
So we'll see. I mean, if they're going to give Sturtz like 7 and then Dix is going to probably – you do that even when there's half of your 4.5 and I don't know. It's just going to be tough because all those other schools are getting that 2.5 and most of the others are having somewhere between 5 and 10 to work with.
Well, that's correct.
Yeah, and that's
how you get up to those numbers.
I mean, I doubt that they're going to be able to outbid Creighton or Illinois or Michigan State for Josh Dix. So we'll see what Payton says. My guess to come here, he may have to take a break. How much is he willing to do is what it may come down to.
I don't know.
I mean, if he has to take $100,000 or $200,000 pay cut to play here, that will be a tough decision.
That would be a lot.
25, 50. I mean, it's easy for me to say that's not much, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but
if Kansas is offering
crazy.
him $2 million, that just I don't understand that. That's almost reeks of desperation.
Or reeks of they have more money than sense.
Yeah, maybe they do. I don't know what their NIL is.
I don't either.
I mean, the highest NIL I think I've seen people mention is like maybe 10.5 somewhere. What's the highest one you've seen?
That's I've certainly seen that. Yeah,
And I can't remember. I don't know what Duke's is. I know Louisville put something out there going to try to turn theirs up to between 8 and 10. It seems like now 10 million is like the going standard for high bar excellence in college basketball right now. It seems like that's where they're going. Where it was 5, now it seems to be 10.
yeah, exactly.
And
it may even be higher than
well,
that.
my guess is it'll go up.
Now.
It'll just go up every year. I mean, next year it could be 15.
Yeah.
But it seems like 10 is the bar that's going to separate, the elite, the haves from the have a little or have not much at all. And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Illinois supposedly was at 7.5 this year.
So that sounds about
I've
right.
read that.
So then if they have that same figure for next year plus the 2.5,
They'll have 10.
They'll have
twice as much as what Ben will have to work with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, and that means if Illinois has close to 10, they could give Josh Dix $1 million.
That's right.
Or $1.5 million, because, even teams like that, there has to be players that are willing to be the 5th and 11th players on teams that are willing to make anywhere from $150 to $75,000. That's how you have to fill these rosters out. That's probably the challenging part. It'll be interesting, but yeah, a school like Illinois, and maybe Kansas is one of those where it's going to get that. But maybe their NIL's 15. I don't know. I haven't read.
I haven't seen
But I've
either.
never really went out looking for other teams' NILs because I never used to care until now you have to.
Well, but the other thing is people speculate. And
well, yeah.
I heard that.
And where do you go for speculation? Message boards and social media.
That's right.
Yeah, and see, that's why sometimes I try to avoid it because
and understandable.
It's just sometimes it's too much.
Because it's hard to tell fact from fiction
well,
unless you know that the source is correct.
And then you have to fight through so much snark and whatever just to try to find something. But like I said, I don't know, and I don't know if it's possible to Google. Could you Google 20 highest paying college basketball NILs right now? I don't think it would come out that plain because I think a lot of it is hearsay. I don't think people know for sure.
Hello.
Unless this caller does.
Are we going to have a total different team next year?
Yes.
I mean, any of these guys are going to hang around?
Well, we just like we said Wednesday, there's a chance that a few will.
Yeah.
But no, it's more than likely the roster is going to probably be 80% different, at least.
Well, I know he has one guy that's supposed to be coming with him.
Yeah, the Sturts.
That's Stitz or whatever his name is.
Bennett Sturts. Now, there's a chance.
What did Freeman went to Creighton?
Yes. Harty to TCU.
Do you think a lot of those guys would have hung around if Fran had stayed, or do you think they still would have gone?
I think there's a chance Freeman was going to go, just too much money.
I'm wondering if this NIL is kind of ruining college basketball,
well, you're not
college
alone.
Sports.
You're not alone.
I just think, geez, we're now going into the bidding.
No, they're just going to become employees here. I keep saying this every time.
Yeah.
They're going to be employees here in 2 to 3 years, I think.
I mean, it's totally different. I remember before you couldn't transfer within your own conference, and then if you did, you had to sit out a year. Now, my goodness.
And they'll pay them scale.
Pot shot from one place to the other.
A senior starter with experience who's a key contributor is going to make more than a frat, just like you would in the real world. It's gonna. That's what I think. I think it's going to be just run like a business.
Is this going to end up getting worse than better?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I think it'll eventually get better because there has to be structure eventually.
Says who?
Says me.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've got as much right.
No, I'm just saying though,
but feeling on the top of this bidding or whatever.
But what I'm saying is, that's not necessarily true. We don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know what the solution is.
Well, let's hope for something
other than making them employees.
Yeah,
I think that's the only line. That's the only thing I think the students are going to take now. Now that like we said, the toothpaste is out of the bottle. You can't put it back in. I think you got to figure out a way to coexist. And I think making them employees, paying them scale by who they are, how they produce. Just like you would any university
some of these guys
employee.
are going to make more in college than they would if they went pro.
Well, yeah, short term. I mean, but a lot of these guys are trying to get what they can in college because there's no guarantee they're going to play pro ball.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee Owen Freeman.
Pro.
There's no guarantee Owen Freeman's going to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
There's a chance. He's got to get what he can. Brock Harding's probably not going to play in the NBA. You get what you can when you can.
Yeah. Well, I'm too old to get what I can. I just take what they give me.
Pat, I'm trying to find teams.
You can't. I've done it before. It's just it's not.
Take care, Car.
There's just so much
You
speculation.
guys have a good day.
That's what I'm saying. It's just not easy to find.
They have the individual, like Cooper Flag,
nothing.
4.8 million.
Yeah, but nothing team wise.
No,
that just shows you how much hearsay and just speculation and guesswork goes on in this stuff.
Hello.
Hey, Pat, do you remember when the Press Citizen used to put out the salaries page?
For UI employees?
Yeah, UI.
Yes.
State.
Yeah, state, yes, I do.
Now, with this, would all these athletes be in that?
I would imagine, yes. And what I'm envisioning, yes.
When they're employees, right?
Then they're employees,
yes.
Okay, thanks.
That's what unless something I can't see coming causes things to change and go back to somewhat like it. I just don't see it. I just think they're going to have to make them employees and contracts, and I just don't see another way that they're going to tolerate it. Now, they're not going to give what they have now. Once you get it, you're not going to give it back, which now they have the freedom to sell themselves, the freedom to demand money, the flexibility to come and go wherever they please, just like coaches used to do. And coaches still can do. Now athletes have it, and they're not going to give it back.
Hello.
Are coaches allowed to donate to NIL?
No.
could see why that would be tempting for them to do that, to try to.
You bet.
Especially,
I guess you could
make things a lot easier.
I mean, there's ways you could work around it. You could have a best buddy. Hey, here's $500,000. You're my friend. I want you to. I mean, I guess would that. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess,
I don't,
the NIL money's got to be raised separately from the university. It obviously is representing the university, and there's discussions. Of course, Brad is told by the coaches who means more to them value-wise and whatever, but no, the money's all raised separate from outside.
I just wondered if there was an NCAA rule that forbid them from donating to NIL.
I believe there is.
I believe there. Don't quote me, but I don't.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
Because they can't be. They have to be separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I mean, and we're talking about the outside collectives. I mean, everyone keeps talking about this 2.5 like it's going to solve all the problems. But
everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it, just like everybody gets the 20.5. The problem is still outside collectives. That's the challenge.
I mean, everybody's going to get the 2.5, but not everybody is going to use it. I mean, they can repurpose it if they want.
Oh, yeah. I think most will use it most are going to use it for football and men's basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa's unique a little bit right now with the run on women's basketball and with wrestling. But most schools, okay, football, here's 15, there's your 75%, and then let's divvy this other stuff up. And that's why, like I said, this doesn't change the pressure on building outside collectives. And
I can just see the coaches sitting there, trying to break percentages. Okay, I've got $6 million.
That's why I like the fact that Ben McCollum was a finance major.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, people thought I was joking about that. No, I mean, I like the fact that he knows how to work numbers. He has a vision that can put numbers together. I mean, this is a whole new world now. You don't need just an X and O's guy. You do need sort of a businessman. And I'm interested, and I wish I would have asked Beth this when we had her on the side. I would like to know if Iowa would ever consider hiring like a basketball or football general manager, because that's what a lot of universities are doing now. St. Bonaventure, I just saw BYU. They're signing general managers to run their basketball programs. Mm-hmm. Now, football, didn't they name Kirk's son-in-law didn't he get a new title? Isn't he sort of their...
I think so.
I think he might be, his new title might be, besides son-in-law, I think
financial guru.
No, I think it's like general manager or something. Yeah. I don't know, but that seems to be, but in that, you're creating a whole new position in a way. In basketball, it would be a whole new position because you want to keep all your coaches. But a lot of schools are doing that now, and I find that kind of interesting. I don't think you necessarily need it. That's why you have an athletic director who's making almost $1 million a year. Don't you think?
Well, if your coach is making $7 million a year,
you really need a GM.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you need. To me, I mean, I think there's enough. I think Beth is smart enough with the people she has working around her to where she can help run all the sports. But that's why you hire a coach that you can trust and who can do all the little things. But no, math and calculating numbers and, okay, here's this guy. He's a really good shooter, a little slow of foot, but we can get him at this price. But here's this guy. He's quicker, but he wants 100,000. That's the kind of stuff they're going to be doing.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be interesting.
Plus, if you're good at math and you're good at numbers, that directs your brain.
It just helps in everything.
Yeah, to being able to see more on the field than people that are good with that stuff. It's like engineers that do electronics. I mean, most of them can't spell. For some reason, they can't.
Just like I can't.
They can't
their minds
they get used
work differently.
They work
no
differently,
question about
and
that.
they do it more and more to where they drift away from the stuff they can't do.
Yeah.
I haven't tried a math equation in 40 years.
Well, it wouldn't go well for me. I can tell you that much.
I can still do addition and subtraction and division as long as the division didn't get too far out there. Once it gets out there, then it gets annoying. Just basic division, 4 divided by 2. I mean, yeah.
You got that still?
But when you start getting the periods and the rounded off, then I'm annoyed.
That's what I make calculators for, boys.
Are you going to ask Payton some math questions, finance questions?
Yes.
I want you to.
I want to ask him. Do you think this was a good investment?
But I'm just curious to know what his timetable is going to be with these surgeries, and because I know I give him I think he has a legitimate chance of making an NBA roster. I mean, if Duncan Robinson can do it, I think Payton can, especially if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, because, man, when he showed this year, when
Payton
he's
can
hot,
shoot,
when
man.
he's hot, he is really hot. I mean, he just got on fire a couple times this year, and I hope Price does come back because that would be a key. If they could keep Price and Dix, well, okay, Price, Dix, and Sturts, what's that going to cost you? Let's use our math. Is that probably 2.5 right there, possibly 2 to 2.5?
I would say yes.
Okay, then you've still
Maybe
got,
even a little.
Then
Maybe
you've
a
still
little
got
more.
11 roster spots left with about $2 million.
Well, I imagine your 11 through 15 would be
No, I'm more worried about 4 through 8, 4 through 9.
okay.
Because that's how you build a roster and actually get a winning team.
4 through 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 6 more players. What if you give them an average of 500,000? Then that puts you over right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's over.
That's over.
See, no, that's what I'm saying. That's the challenge they're facing. I mean, it's unfortunate because all the onus now is on the fans.
Yeah.
Basically, it's up to the fans now to financially support this, which they have been in a way anyway from what they watch on TV, from, your tailgating,
One
you're
way or
buying
another.
tickets one way. But now
One way or
it's just
another.
outright fan. And Brad basically said that. I mean,
Yes.
he acknowledged it. I mean, you don't kill the messenger, but he was basically saying, we can't do this. We need the fans. And I think that's good. I don't think that's necessarily good, but I don't know what the solution is.
Well,
It just seems like more of the pressure to build you. The fans are now. It used to be the coaches would go out and recruit players. Now the fans have to give them the money for the chance to recruit players.
Yes.
It's just a completely different landscape.
It's a new equation.
It's asking a lot of the fans.
it is.
It really is, and not every fan base. I mean, I know Kansas. I know there's probably got fans just hey, here's $1 million, please spend it. I mean, but not everyone's like that. And it just puts a lot of pressure on the fans to.
Well, if I were a billionaire, I would certainly finance an NIL for.
I would if I had a
but I don't.
Hello.
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 Hey.
Hey.
Hey, I got a question. I live in Knoxville where the sprint car races are.
Uh-huh.
And they do like every week and during the Nationals, they do a 50-50, they call it.
Yes, I know what they are.
You know they are, where they sell tickets?
Yes, of course.
Has anybody ever thought about doing that before, like football games?
I don't know what.
And the rest, half of it goes to the
The winner and half of it goes to NIL.
I think that if it's legal, I think that's great. I would love it.
Because I think people are more willing to do that when they think they have a chance to win something.
That makes sense.
I think that's very interesting, and I'd play.
I think maybe somebody ought to ask Brad if that's possible to do that.
All right.
If
Reach out
only
to him
we
on
had
Facebook.
thought about that 2 days ago.
Yeah, I don't even know what 50-50 is. So
Okay, you buy a raffle ticket. Okay. Half of the total pot of however many people participate, half of it goes to the person whose ticket was drawn, and the other half would go to NIL or go to the crisis center or whatever the cause is.
I don't know why would that. What rules would that be breaking?
I don't know. I mean, they do it at the Colonels for with half of it goes to the Colonels.
Reach out to Brad on Facebook. See what he says.
Yeah.
We have people like around here. They'll walk around about 2 or 3 hours before the races, sell the tickets. Just like volunteers will walk around and sell the tickets. Like we could walk around and sell them to the tailgaters.
I think that it's a great idea.
It's like buying a lottery ticket.
Yeah, yes. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And, they do that at major league ballparks. They do it at minor league ballparks.
Would you be surprised? Wouldn't you assume, and no knock on our caller here, that Iowa has thought about this? Or do you think maybe they're completely oblivious to something like this?
Don't know. That's a good question.
And Brad, too.
I think it's a great idea that maybe they've looked into it.
It seems like such a good idea that they would have looked into
does.
it, I guess is what I'm saying. But maybe sir, you are a genius in this, and this might be something that will take effect.
I
don't
think
know.
it's a great idea.
We'll find out.
If it's
the only thing
legal.
I'm not sure is, would you have to have some kind of gambling license?
I don't know.
If it hit anything, it would hit, somebody that's sticking the butt at the university.
Then the DCI suspends everybody for like a year.
But I mean, I don't know that the university would necessarily condone it or anything because they'll look at it like gambling.
Yeah, but I get that.
It is gambling.
It is gambling, but in fairness, isn't Riverside Casino one of their biggest sponsors?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
they just this year, isn't it, or the last year?
Where they finally say casino?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they say
last few
casino.
years.
I think they're breaking down those walls.
Well,
I do too.
You would hope so.
I know it's a good fundraiser for some organizations.
Okay, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
we'll look into it.
I think it's a great idea. And I'm
Tom's going
going
to reach out to Brad on Facebook.
Well, when we go on our break, I will text him.
Oh, okay.
You guys
cool.
have a good day.
All right, you too.
All right,
Let's
thanks.
go on our
Good
break
idea.
now
Yeah.
and come back, maybe have an answer to that, and call Payton at 10.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
You take great care to maintaining your home or business inside and out. But maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 390-3703, or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. And special ribeye and shrimp nights. Daily specials at each location. And no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net. or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
It's Truck Month, and Deary Ford is here for you.
With a huge selection of Mavericks, Rangers, F-150s, and Super Duties.
Here for you! With many years of experience, serving Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, and the corridor.
Here for you with complimentary pickup and delivery and mobile service.
If you are looking for a quick, enjoyable purchase experience with our best price up front, visit us today and see how Deary Ford is here for you. It's Truck Month at Deary Ford in Iowa City or online at DearyFord.com.
Hi, this is Bill Leixenring from the Oxyoke Inn. The Oxyoke Inn is now serving daily. Our Oxyoke family is ready to serve you with the same quality of food and service you've come to trust since 1940. Now serving lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily with 4 portion sizes. Sundays featuring our famous brunch buffet. You can also order curbside carryout and pies to go online and take the comforting taste of the Oxyoke home to your family's table. Visit oxyokeinn.com for hours, menus, reservations, carryout, specials, and gift cards. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Sunny, warm, and breezy today. We'll get to the upper 70s, maybe even close to 80 this afternoon, with wind out of the southwest gusting to 30 or 35. Tonight down to 56. Tomorrow cloudy with a few showers. Our high tomorrow 72. And then tomorrow night some scattered showers and thunder showers. With more rain and a few scattered thunderstorms Sunday, we may see a little bit of snow mix in late Sunday night. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now it's 64.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Due to the winds, the Iowa City landfill will be closing at 10:30
it would
today.
have to be done
So
through
same with
Learfield.
the car with it, too, of course.
Yes, that's right.
Let me get
Correct.
the phone. Hello?
Hello, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Since college football has effectively become the minor leagues of the NFL, why is it the owners of every NFL team don't donate $5 or $10 million to an NFL pool that gets divided up amongst the schools that they're recruiting their players from?
Well, there's still an academic part of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know how that would work because they are still student athletes. I don't know. I don't know. That's Tom. Reach out to Brad again. Brad's got the answer for the first question that was asked us earlier, but that one I'd have to think about that. I don't know. That'd be a good question.
So they're getting money from individuals that's being paid to them, and they're still a student athlete. So I don't know if there's a limitation as to the source of contribution that it can't be corporations or businesses. But I'm thinking that's where the NFL recruits their players from. Let them help pay for this.
Well, I guess.
I guess. But what if the NFL would say, "Well, we don't need to do that. It's already set up perfectly for us right now. Why would we
save all that money?
Why not just save all that money since it's working fine for us? It's not our problem to solve."
Yeah, they're greedy. They want to keep their money.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that's probably what they would say because they are a business.
Yeah, and my response is, well, so you're letting individuals give up their cash, their money, their net worth to do it. It's just not a balanced field as far as I'm concerned.
I get what you're saying. I really do. But I'm just not sure why it's the NFL's responsibility to help college figure out their problem.
Well,
I'm asking,
They're helping fix NCAA's screw up.
Oh yeah, no question that the NCAA has put us in this position. I'm just not sure why it's the NFL's responsibility to get us out of it.
Well, if the colleges don't produce talent, then the NFL's not going to get talent.
Well, the
colleges
do produce
colleges
talent.
are going to continue to produce
talent, and the NFL is going to pay them a lot
when they get there. Yeah, it's going to continue to work. It just may not work the way we want it to work, and it may be more of the haves separating from the have-nots.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, no, I get.
Right.
Interesting discussion.
Hey, yeah, good. Thanks.
But all right, what did Brad say?
All right, so my question to Brad was, thanks to the caller who brought it up, could you do a 50-50 raffle at Kinnick with 50% going to the winner and 50% going to Swarm? And Brad's answer was absolutely, but Learfield has to agree to it. Learfield owns game days and anything that goes on at Kinnick and radio broadcasts.
Okay, so let's think of a reason why Learfield wouldn't agree to that. What can you think of? You guys?
Why they wouldn't? They don't get anything out of it?
Okay, so what if they figured out a way to get like a 10% cut? You think that's what it would take?
I don't know.
That? Yeah, I don't know.
But
wouldn't Learfield also like to see all the teams that they affiliate with have more success because it would lead to more listeners? And if a raffle might help to lead to better talent, it would lead to more listeners and more success.
Maybe they've never been asked.
Yeah, so then maybe that's something.
And then I had a follow-up question, and I don't know if Brad will answer. I said, could Swarm do a 50-50 by going tailgate to tailgate then? I mean, there's tens of thousands of 50,000 Hawkeye fans are tailgating.
No, you're right. I mean, I think by the time the show's over, we're going to solve all of those problems.
Learfield doesn't control the tailgates.
Yeah.
So that's a thought. So maybe Brad will like that. We'll see.
just go around with a bucket, just collecting NIL money.
Well, no, well, sort of, but
okay, let's see.
But again, what the guy said, the reason people do 50-50 is not necessarily to be a good Samaritan. They want to win. They want to win a big amount of money for a small donation.
They have a chance to win something for their money. It's like buying a lottery ticket. But obviously, you're going to need a little bit more money. I mean, the lottery ticket, you can buy one for what? How much is that?
$2.
$2.
Yeah, but your chances are 1 in a gazillion.
Yeah, so if you buy 6, then you're practically clinched it. I mean, I get what you're saying, but with lotteries,
I never did understand how that one guy rigged the lottery so he'd win.
I didn't either, but I saw a lady in front of me one time buying 100 of them. She was just so excited about how she improved her chances. And I'm sitting there thinking...
And I guess you really kind of don't particularly.
You really don't. But if she was happy spending $200 on 100 or whatever it was, I'll never forget
So,
that.
I mean, the difference, obviously, if you have 10 million people buy a lottery ticket, your chance is 1 in 10 million. If you do a 50-50 at the tailgates, there would probably be maybe 1,000.
I would think that's something they've thought about, don't you think?
I would think so.
So we're solving all the world's problems, Captain.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk Ukraine. No
thanks. Don't have an answer for. Don't have an answer for that.
I am going to excuse myself and call Payton.
And call Payton. I think that's an admirable thing to do. Love to talk to Payton.
Yeah, you introduce him, and
sure.
Yeah, I just first of all, I want him to kind of give us a time frame on how he's going to be very busy this spring and summer between surgeries and getting ready for the draft and what have you. It's going to be interesting.
And he's going to be in that State Farm College dunk and 3-point championships at the Final Four. Saw today.
Who?
Payton.
How's he going to do that?
That's what it says. I will ask him.
See, I don't know how he can do that with 2 shoulder surgeries.
Well, this would be he would have to do it before the surgeries.
Yeah,
you mean April 3rd.
I guess he could do the 3-point. Yeah, I mean,
well, we'll ask him.
Is he on? We got him?
Yeah, here he is.
Hey, Payton.
All right, joining us this morning, Payton Sandfort, Hawkeye great. First thing I want to ask you, Payton, I saw something this morning, and I know you've got a couple shoulder surgeries coming up next month, but I saw that, are you participating in the State Farm 3-point championships at the Final Four?
Yes, I am. It's like my last hurrah before I have surgery a couple days later.
So
they're letting me do it.
That's great.
So will the shoulders be a problem at all? Is there any pain when you shoot?
Not really. Like it bothers me sometimes, but I got through it during the season, so I can go out there and shoot 25 more threes. I got enough up during the season.
So you explain to our listeners what happened with your shoulders this year, because man, there are times where I remember you landing. I'm like, God, he looks like he's in pain. And with your wrist, kind of go through everything that you had to go through this year.
Yeah, so I'll take you back to the combine. So my right shoulder, we played a game at Penn State last year, and Ace Baldwin had his hand in there, and it kind of it felt like my shoulder kind of separated in play, and I went out for like 5 to 10 minutes, and thought, man, that sucks. But I got back in there, and then when I went to the combine, the first play that I was in, I got dunked on, but my left shoulder completely dislocated.
Oh.
So I was messed up that whole week. Just couldn't get my feeling back, and didn't play well at all down there because of it. And then, I was trying to decide what to do with the draft, and I actually got some scans while I was down there, and they said that both labrums they're kind of torn. But I figured I can play through this. I've played through it forever. So I worked on all off season. All I did was work on strengthening them. So I'd miss a ton of practices, and I was really hitting it hard with the PTs at the University of Iowa and just trying to get them strengthened because they thought that might be able to hold them in place and fix it. And that was painful. I couldn't really practice for most of the off season. I couldn't work on anything, which you're supposed to make this big jump from your junior to senior year, and I was basically just sitting around watching practice and running the stairs at Carver trying to stay in shape. So, that was a painful process. And then as the season started, right before we played Minnesota Duluth, I dislocated both my shoulders pretty bad. And then, I'm like, man, do I really want to go through the season it's going to be painful, but, I wanted to do it. And then, I put the tape on, and that helped a lot, just kind of held them in place. But I was always just a little tentative with what I was doing. I was a little more afraid to mix it up. I couldn't work on my jump shot just because it'd wear them down for the game. So I just kind of, during the games I would go out there and play. And, during the first, 2 months, my shoulders held up pretty well until we went to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I dislocated it really early in that game. Went in the back, put it back in, and then wanted to go back in the game. And I think Brock hit a 3, and I started clapping, and it dislocated again.
Oh.
So they made me dress up, put a sling on it just to keep it in place. And then, right when that happened, we debated, shutting it down for the year. They thought it might be a good time to get surgery, but I said, no, I'm going to play. And we played Minnesota 3 days later, and they're, telling me I talked to our trainer, Brad, who's just the best. He's like one of my favorite people of all time. He helped me so much this year. And, he's like, maybe we should just take some time off. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go out there and play. And, that was, we didn't win the game, which sucked, but I had, 21 points, 10 rebounds. I just kind of laid it all out there.
You did.
And, at that point I knew I'd have to get surgery after the year. So every game, could have been my last, but I would just, try to have a lot of fun with it and, see how that goes. And then, obviously when we played Washington State, broke my wrist. And
yeah, that's right.
When I wasn't having shoulder pain, I was having that going on. And, it's funny. I don't even know if, Josh had the same thing happen to him in that same game. And, he's one of the toughest kids I've ever been around. So me and him were battling out there. We never missed any games, but, we still did a lot of good things.
So the wrist was there all season also, the wrist problem?
By the end of the year, that had pretty much healed up. And then I was just dealing with a lot more shoulder stuff. On senior night, so we played Michigan State at home. I forgot about this. The day before in practice, I'd kind of been practicing again. I was feeling good, starting to play pretty good, and threw a chest pass, and my right shoulder dislocated. And if it wasn't senior night, it would have been really hard to play that game. But, I went out there and tried to do my best.
And then, like I said, your last game in the Big Ten tournament, you scored 30. I mean, what a way to go out. I mean, I know you lost the game, but, man, you went out firing. I mean, you got in that zone, too. You were hot.
Yeah, that was – if there was a way to go out, I guess that was the way to do it if we're going to end that early. But
yeah.
I would like to keep winning, but that's how it goes.
Peyton, a lot has happened since that last game. Obviously, your coach, Coach Fran, is now the head coach at Penn. I'm happy for him. I think most Iowa fans are, and I think he'll work well there. Just your thoughts on, well, actually both hires. Let's start with Fran. Because I know Fran means a lot to you, and rightfully so.
Yeah. He gave me opportunities when, he was my first offer when I was down at a little high school event in Kansas City. There was a lot of teams I'd been talking to, but no one was ready to commit to me. And the first time he saw me play, he said, I want you to come play for me. And I didn't even know that he'd offered me a scholarship at that point. But, and then, ever since then, we've had such a great relationship, and I've been able to, go to him. We had tons of meetings during the season, trying to get this thing figured out. And, he's really a really good person at heart. And, I'm so happy for him that he's at Penn because, in today's era of, NIL and the portal and everything, at Penn, it's a little different because you can kind of build a program there. There's a lot of kids that want that Ivy League degree, so they'll come in and, stay there 4 years. So I think that he gets to do it his way again. And, I'm very excited to watch him down there. I'm going to try to get to the Palestra and watch him play. And, I think he'll be able to do great things. And, he's such a good coach. So. And,
with NIL, I wanted to ask you, I know for a fact, and I'm not asking you to divulge, you took less to stay as a Hawkeye. How tough is that, and what would your advice be to other players? Because you could have shopped around. I talked to Fran about your situation, and he was so appreciative of what you were willing to do, and he did all he could to help. But that's the challenge now, Peyton. It's not it's all money now, so much of it.
Yeah, so much of it is. And, we had – for the resources that, we had this year, we had, honestly, a really, really, really good roster.
Yeah.
We almost got lucky that, we had a lot of guys who wanted to be here, and, I wanted to be here in the worst way, and I wanted to win here. But like you said, I took a pay cut, but, that's never what it's been about. And, I've trusted that, it's going to work out down the line if you just stay loyal. And, loyalty is at the heart of, who I am. It's at the heart of, really what Iowa is. So, You know, I never wanted to, you know, leave this place. I wanted to be, honestly, I might be one of the last guys that plays 4 years at one school is what it seems like. But, you know, I loved it here, and, you know, that's why it was never about the money. And I wish it could have turned out better. You know, I did everything I could, but sucks the way that, you know, it finished. But, you know, this portal era is crazy, and, you know, I'm trying to help some of our, you know, current guys that are in the portal and, you know, see what they're trying to do. But it's just a crazy world out there.
If only there was somebody on the team who maybe, you know pretty well with a similar last name.
Yeah, what advice are you giving Price?
Yeah, you know, I'm letting him take it, you know, one day at a time. You know, he's taking his visits. He's talked to Coach McCollum. You know, I'm really impressed with Coach McCollum. You know, his press conference was great, and his kids went to Waukee, so I talked to him, you know, a few times during the season, and he's just such a brilliant basketball mind, and you know, just a good Iowa dude. And you know, I hope he does the best, but. You know, for Price, it's just, you know, really taking it slow. It's like going through recruiting again. And, you know, he's a good kid. He's going to make the best decision. You know, I don't want to influence him in any way. I want him to, you know, find the perfect fit for him. I think, you know, part of him, you know, in his recruiting, he wasn't very open-minded the first time because he wanted to, you know, come play with his brother and, you know, just have the opportunities for us to play together in college. And, you know, now he's getting to talk to coaches, which is, you know, really cool. And, you know, but he'll make the best decision. At the end of the day, you know, you just got to find the perfect fit. And, you know, I know that he'll do that. And, you know, I'll support him either way. And, you know, if he comes back to Iowa, great. If he doesn't, you know, I'll still be a huge fan of the program. So,
absolutely.
You know, I'm rooting for him, and, you know, I'm rooting for Iowa.
Tom, tell Payton what you heard about Kansas with Josh.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Payton, there's numbers floating around out there that, you know, certain colleges universities have so much money in NIL that the number that Kansas is supposedly offering Josh Dix is $2 million. Is that...
First, do you believe that?
Do you believe it?
Do you believe it? And if so, just wow, how do you compete against that?
I have no idea if that's true or not. I mean, I haven't talked numbers with Josh at all. You know, what little I've talked to Josh, we just kind of talked about how cool it is to be able to see some of these places.
Sure.
You know, go through it and just ask them how it's going. But honestly, I don't even know what the market's like. You know, I never tested. I never had anyone check on it for me. You know, I just wanted to be at Iowa, so. I haven't even really talked to numbers with Price, to be honest. I've been so, you know, trying to figure out all my shoulder surgery and stuff and trying to play as much golf as I can before I shut it down for the year. So I'm pretty much completely unaware of what the market's like. I guess I'm just probably like everybody else. Whatever I see on Twitter, I have to see if I believe it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the center for Indiana, it was reported he got $1.2 million, and Coleman Hawkins got $1.2. No, it's crazy. Speaking of math, and I know you're a finance major, and I said this. Ben McCollum was going. He was a finance major. He was going to. You heard him say he was going to go that path, but he decided to go coaching, and it actually it's turned out great for him. I think in this new world, Payton, for a head coach, I think that helps. I mean, you've got to do so much with numbers and percentage and building rosters. Talk about that. Just, I mean, it's. I think math and stuff's going to be a part of this now, trying to fill out rosters.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you almost have to have a general manager or someone as a head coach who knows numbers really well. And you know, I thought that, you know, Coach McCaffrey did a good job of, you know, making sure that we had a well-balanced roster. But, man, like some of the money that some of these schools have, it's like it's just a different college basketball than what I came into. You know, I came to Iowa, and I was thrilled that I got, you know, the stipend check that they get us to pay for housing every month. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like, I get extra $200 to go, you know, spend on a burrito downtown or something. And, you know, now it's like they're like big-time salaries. And, to be a coach in today's era, I mean, it takes something completely different than it did, you know, 4 years ago. And, you know, that's why I think you've seen so many great coaches leave the game, but you're also seeing a lot of great coaches emerging, you know, because they know how to handle that. And, you know, they can separate the money from the X's and O's, and, you know, they do both really, really well. And, you know, it's a challenge, and, you know, I give the coaches a lot of props because they're having to deal with so much more than they ever have before. And, you know, when Coach McCaffrey, when it first started, you know, I thought, you know, what he's going through, and how he's having to try to raise these funds and get players, and it just seemed like he was constantly on the phone and doing work, and it's just a different era. I think some of those old coaches, they just like to sit there and watch film with sit there with a coffee or Mountain Dew, and now you just have to do so much more than that, and so I give coaches a ton of props, and I wanted to go into coaching. I don't know if I do anymore with everything going on, but maybe I do. Maybe I can make it work with that finance degree. I don't know.
How about being an agent?
Man, that's brutal. I don't think I want to do that.
You don't want to do because it seems like agents are such an influence now. Like a lot of these stories about coaches going from schools, most of these are broken by the national media because they just have direct contact with the agents who are pulling all the strings. Yep. It's really interesting. But I can't tell you how many times I talked to Fran and he'd tell me about it. He goes, Pat, we checked all the boxes. He wanted to come here. Yeah. We had him, but we couldn't outbid the school that he went to. I'm sure you knew those. You knew about those stuff too, didn't? When you guys were trying to help recruit.
There was a ton of kids, that
a ton
on visits. I'm like, man, this kid loves it here. Like he's having a great time, and just at the end of the day, it didn't work out, and it was kind of like a head scratcher. But then, as we've gone on, it's like, man, like I guess we just don't have the resources to compete. And I think that's changing. I think Hawkeye Nation's stepping up, but
hope so.
Man, for a while, we just didn't have the funds to, especially get the high school kids, they're all they know now is money. For a while we could get guys based on they came into college basketball before money, and they wanted to play at Iowa. They wanted to play with guys like myself and Josh, and it's just a different world. And all these kids, you don't fault them for it. It's what they know, and it's what I knew when I came into college. It's just a different world now.
And it's changed. Just so much, Payton, since you were coming in 4 years ago. It's almost like it's a completely different game.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It's 100% different. Nothing is really the same. I guess I walked into the same Carver every day, but it was with just different circumstances. I remember my first. Obviously, I played with Jordan Bohannon at the start my freshman year, and I think July 1st of 21 was when it started. So I'd been on campus for like 3 weeks, and we had this first NIL meeting, and it was like they're talking about deals for sandwiches and $150, and I don't think anybody really saw what this could really turn into with just basically pay for play is what it is.
But that's how it was. Exactly. It was supposed to be what you were talking about. You use your name to promote charities and do this. Now it is just pay for play, and you have to do it, or you're gonna get passed up. It's just And Payton, do you see it ever going back? This just seems like one of those toothpaste out of the bottle. How do you put it back? How do you get back? What would your suggestion do as somebody who's lived it now?
Man, it's almost so far in, it's hard to go back to how it was. There's got to be some sort of ruling because, even with the revenue sharing, and I don't exactly know what this looks like, and, I don't know how our administration is handling it and what all the numbers look like, but I know that, we've got football to pay, the Big East schools, they don't have football.
That's a good point.
We've got, obviously, an excellent wrestling program. We've got an excellent women's basketball program. We've got a good baseball team. We've got good athletics here. I don't know who gets the money. I don't know what that looks like. Obviously that's a portion of it. And then is there still the NIL side? There's so much, and there has to be a way to limit the salary cap just to make it fair if they're going to do this. Or there's going to be some programs that just have such an advantage. They don't have to pay football, or they don't have a wrestling program. Or I just don't know what this looks like. It's obviously going to take a lot. There's got to be some sort of salary cap, and
I agree.
Yes, I agree. At that point, it's too bad because college athletics, when I was a kid, was such a pure thing, and it felt like everybody had a chance. And maybe there was some schools paying people under the table, but it was never known. And
of course there were,
and a lot of them got caught. A lot of them got caught and were put on the death penalty. And but no, you're right. It was pure. I'm old enough to remember when college athletes actually went home for the summer and held summer jobs and worked and talked to their position coach. My brother, he talked to his position coach once or twice a day at home and whatever. But now it's year round. What you guys do is literally year round.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to ask you about Carver. I know we talked to you about it during the season. How much of an influence? Because it looks like they are going to do something with the student section. And I do think, Ben, with the white shirts and the ties,
I love it.
You know there's going to be a bunch of students that are going to latch on. And I always felt bad for Fran, and maybe I'm making excuses for him, but I just don't think where the student section's set up help Fran at all. I think it should be courtside. I think that's an easy fix. What do you think? Would that be a big difference to you players to see those students right there closer to the court, standing on bleachers, going up
Or to have them right behind you.
Or behind you. Would that make a big difference in your mind?
Yeah, I think, when we go on the road sometimes, the student section is right behind our bench. So, you never want to be on the bench because they're just saying all sorts of nasty things to you right there, and it sucks. And I'd love to see that, where people walk in and it doesn't just feel like an open house. Just with people behind them, it's because I think we've got their family, right there, which obviously we have on the road too, but a little more separated. And it's tough. We need students to show up. The crowd thing has always been, a little weird to me.
Me too.
I understand. We didn't have the best year, and obviously, you want fans to show up for winning. But my freshman year, we won the Big Ten tournament. We were a 5 seed in the NCAA, and fan support's a big deal. And
it is.
We didn't have very many fans that year. When we went to Buffalo and played Richmond, it was a true road game. And I think to really help the program out, there's got to be constant support. There's got to be fans that travel to games. Because when you're in the NCAA tournament, you see it all the time. The big schools they basically play these home games because their fans travel, they eat up the arena, and the players can really feel the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And when we played the 2 neutral site games this year in Moline and Sioux Falls.
Mm-hmm. Sioux Falls.
Yeah. Those were basically home games.
They were.
The crowd kind of carried us to win. So when we played, when you go on the road in tournaments, we played a road game at Auburn my sophomore year in Birmingham, and it's a big deal. It's harder to sustain runs. I'm not at all making excuses. We didn't play well in those games, but to really impact this program and carry it over the top, there's got to be people that travel. There's got to be the students have to show up. If they want to sit courtside, they got to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And it can really make an impact on games. And I think Coach McCollum's going to do a great job, and he's going to have a winning program. So I hope that the fans follow suit, and I know that they will, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
One of the neat things about this season, I know it kind of came at your expense, but Fran in post games, there were times where you could tell he was so pissed at the officiating, and a lot of it was you being hand checked. And he would, because we knew what he was saying, but he's under. He can't. He even coming guys. I don't want to be fined, but was that? It just seemed like that was an issue that teams did defend. It's a compliment. Obviously you were number 1 on the scout, but you dealt with a lot of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I would get, and a lot of the problem that I had with getting open this year was my lack of shoulder mobility.
Okay.
Because I've always been a really good hand fighter, so I'd be able to use my hands to get guys off me and use momentum. And honestly, I really struggled to do that because that was the position that would dislocate my shoulder. So I'd have to rely on constant movement and kind of wearing my defender down to get open. So it honestly looked a lot worse because I couldn't really fight back.
Okay.
So when guys are holding me, I couldn't fight them off, and that's why Coach knew I needed the help from the officials. And to be completely honest, it's why I had a lot of huge second halves this year is because I wasn't able to get myself open. I had to take a lot tougher shots in the first half, but I found that I put myself in the best shape possible, so I didn't really ever get tired. So by the second half, my best way to dominate the game was to wear my defender down, and then I'd get a lot better looks, in second halves of games, which is ultimately why I had so many 20-point second halves and things like that, just because I had to play a little different game than I've ever played before because I've always been such a good hand fighter and using defenders' momentum against them, and I just kind of had the lack of that this year.
Payton, how fast did the 4 years go for you?
Man, it feels like I just started.
Yeah.
I remember, getting on campus and, the McCaffrey boys picked me up and, we played poker that first night, but I was scared to death. It was a new world, being around new guys, really good players. And then, you fast forward, it felt like 2 weeks, and now I'm, watching my brother show up on campus. And then 2 weeks later, we're in the middle of the senior season and, I'd just been back from all the draft stuff. And, it's crazy. I'm thankful for all of it. We had so many fun times and so many, big wins, and finished with a Big Ten record above 500, which is, it's a pretty special thing. The Big Ten's really good,
Yeah.
and won a ton of big games. Lost some games, and there's things I wish that went different. But at the end of the day, I've got no regrets. I gave it everything I had,
Sure
and
did.
I'm just so proud to be a Hawkeye.
Peyton, I think there's going to be a day when Fran comes back. Iowa honors him. He's the all-time winner.
You bet.
Not saying anytime soon, but don't you think so? And I know you guys will be there, but Fran deserves a day back here in Carver someday where the fans say thanks for, for the most part was
absolutely
one of the things that gets lost with Fran is he recruited not just you, but great kids. I can't remember the last time an Iowa basketball player ran afoul of the law. I think it was Peter Jock having an expired tag on a moped.
Yes,
seriously. I mean, it's incredible. I've been doing this. I've been doing this a long time. You guys have a lot of character.
Yeah, Coach McCaffrey was great, and the things that he's dealt with the past couple of years with,
yes,
I don't know how much I can talk about it, but he's had some big time, life struggles, and he's been there for us every day. When we're struggling, he's there for us. He came and supported me at the combine, and he's been there for me. He's made calls for me, and I'll always be thankful for him. And I hope down the line that the Hawkeye fans can really appreciate what he did to revive this program and did so many great things. And it didn't end the way that he wanted or that we wanted, and I feel like I'm partly responsible for how it ended. But I was proud to be his player, and he did so many great things here.
Okay, one last question. Your schedule. You got the surgeries coming up. Then when do you, as far as preparing for the draft and whatever, just what's your next couple months look like?
That's a good question. I'm trying to figure all that out. I'm going to do the three-point contest next Thursday, and then I'm doing surgery April 8th, and then I think I do it 4 to 6 weeks apart, get the other one done. And then after that, I'm really excited just to be healthy again.
Sure.
The recovery takes 6 months, which was, part of why it was hard to finish out the season at first, because, I'm going to miss summer league. I'm going to miss, probably training camp, but I'm very confident I'll be able to land at least a two-way NBA deal, and that's a big deal. And then I'll just have to grind it out, and I'm prepared to do what it takes to make it in the NBA. And it might take a few years to make it, it might not, but I'm very determined that I have the mindset to make it, and it'll look different than I thought it would, but I'll find a way.
I lied. One last question: how much did you grow since you got on campus?
Probably 2 inches.
Okay.
I think I left high school right under 6'6", and I'm almost 6'8" now.
I mean, that's a huge deal. I mean, that's a pretty huge deal, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, I mean, my grandpa did the same thing when he was in college. He grew a couple inches, and it's crazy that I did grow because I thought I was done, but that's a big deal. I think everyone's looking for big shooters nowadays, and once I am healthy again and really get my shot back, I think I've got a great chance to make it.
Of course, I'm biased, but I think you're a more versatile Duncan Robinson, and he's making a lot of money in the NBA, and he's been doing it for a long time. Listen, Peyton, know you're busy. We appreciate you coming on again. I know our listeners love hearing from you.
Absolutely.
Respect you so much, and it was a joy covering you, man. I mean, it's been a lot of fun covering you guys.
No, thank you guys.
Good luck to everything.
Great, and, always so kind, even in the the tough days. So I appreciate you guys, and thanks for having me on.
You bet.
Well, thank you for being a Hawkeye, Peyton. And I've been a Hawkeye fan since I was 5 years old, and I'm almost as old as God. So you've been a wonderful joy to watch, and thank you.
Sure have. Thanks, Peyton. Good luck with everything.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
I thought you were going to go head-to-head with him with some math problems.
Yeah. I did not. I mean, we knew he was struggling, but they kept most of that under wraps.
Yeah.
He basically just what a year. But he probably showed something to the NBA too. Tough to be able to play through pain and what have you. And man, he grew 2 inches. That's incredible.
And he'll get full. Our engineer Andy had both shoulders.
Oh yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
And he's played so much in college. They know what he's about. He's going to definitely at the least get a two-way. And
he's very confident.
And I think the fact that he is almost 6'8" makes a huge difference. I knew he grew because when I was standing next to him in the tunnel a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, man, I just don't remember you being this tall when you got here. But yeah, he's almost 6'8". So no, that was fun. That was an easy half an hour.
It's always fun to talk to him. He's just
I did forget to ask. I think they need to do a Peyton, Caitlin, Jason, Jordan Bohannon 3-point shooting contest. Couldn't they do that to raise NIL money?
Absolutely, they could.
Text Brad.
What's Bohannon doing now?
I have no idea.
Anybody know?
I have no idea.
He was
I think he's working
marketing, wasn't he?
I think he's working with his dad.
Is he?
I think his dad's like financial planner. I think that's what I've heard. And hey, great, keep it in the family. Yeah. You know, that's what I've heard. But
he'd be a good
Payton would be good at
network
anything.
analyst.
Oh, he would be great at that. But he would also.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him running my company either. Yeah. You know, but
he's going to do great.
But Bohannon, think if they could get Bohannon, Caitlin, Payton, and Steph Curry. Maybe somehow get Steph Curry to get involved in that. You know, you might have.
Well, if he did, there'd be the TV network would do it.
Oh, without question. And the Caitlin connection could possibly make it possible. I mean, wouldn't that be incredible? Just Payton and Bohannon and Caitlin would be very interesting.
I think it would be great.
Somehow they got to see. That's how they got to start thinking.
You could have a little scoreboard down below about how much money as the
and you can place bets on who you think's going to win with half the bets going to the NIL.
That'd be great. Really look
we are solving the world's problems.
I look forward to seeing Caitlin next month on Netflix with David Letterman.
I've seen parts of it. I've seen. Hopefully, they won't. They keep playing certain parts of it. I've seen like 7 minutes of the interview. The one where she talks about Halloween, she'd get so sweaty underneath her costume because she had to get more candy than anyone else because it was all about winning. And she basically said she was unpleasant because she needed to win, and her mom would get mad at Dad because Dad would lose her. She's like, "You just lost our 7-year-old daughter. She's out rambling, running around in the neighborhood on her own." Because she couldn't, Dad didn't move fast enough, and she wanted as much candy as possible. And she said she wanted to come home and be able to show her siblings that she got more candy than them because she was better than them. That's what she said.
That's an uber competitive person right there.
That's the part I saw on Twitter, and Dave's just sitting there laughing with it. I just couldn't take my eyes off Dave's beard, though. I mean, I'm not Captain. Explain the beard.
I'm not digging it.
I don't get it. I don't understand. But
he's happy with it.
He's happy with it. And
I was waiting for her to say.
He does some great interviews.
He does. He's good. I was waiting for her to say, Slick, what's up with the beard? And that would have been funny. But maybe she does.
Now, speaking of Caitlin, so the Indiana Fever are here on May 4th.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I saw where there's 2 big nonprofit fundraisers going on that same day, which I thought was very unfortunate.
Well, you got the
Team Breast Friends are having their golf outing.
So you think that's going to take away fans from being at the arena?
No, it'll take fans away from the fundraisers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and ALS is having the walk in Coralville.
But do you think there's a way they may be able to get money from fans may reach out and say, hey, I'm going to this, but I still want to help?
Hopefully.
I would think that's what they would do, don't you?
I hope so.
I would hope that's what they do.
Yeah.
But no, when does that? It's on Netflix?
It'll be on Netflix next month.
What if you don't have Netflix?
Then you're not going to see it.
I'm not happy. I don't
want to get Netflix.
I don't want to get Netflix.
Well, then you're not going to see it.
Hey, my YouTube went out the other night. It was weird. It just froze, and then I fell asleep and turned it back on, and it was frozen, and then I forgot about it. But then I noticed it was saying, "Oops, something went wrong." It did this for like 2 hours. Then I went back to sleep again. Then it came back. What was that? Does that just every once in a while happen?
Never happened. We've never had a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it just froze, and it just anytime I try to hit it, it said, "Oops, something went wrong." But then
I think it was trying to force you to subscribe to Netflix.
Netflix, it's right there, waiting for me to do it.
It is.
Yeah. I ain't doing Netflix. It's enough doing Peacock, which I hardly ever watch.
Some good shows in it.
They have a bunch of the SNL 50-year compilations that have been really fascinating.
And we watched. Let's see, 5 episodes of that No Good Deeds last night.
It's like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, at first I'm going, all Netflix shows start slow, but then it picked up, and by the third one. So we got 3 more to watch.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought that would be right up your alley.
Yeah, we liked it.
Good.
That's all we watched last night. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah, I got Netflix.
I'm happy for you.
I got Paramount.
It's right there asking me what $10.99 a month or something.
Peacock.
I got
Hulu.
I've got I think all of them. I've got Amazon Prime, and we never, ever watch it.
See, I watch new movies on Amazon.
So you guys are paying how much a month for TV?
A million?
Like, yeah, something like 4,000.
I'm paying $84.
No. Well, I mean, it's,
Actually, I was wondering why. I'm doing the Peacock, since I signed them up together, the Peacock and YouTube I'm paying in one payment. It's just under $90 for both of them combined.
And I think with all the streaming that I do and DirecTV, we're probably close to $400 a month.
Yeah, well, I do not miss those days.
3?
No.
Oh, you have YouTube, though.
I got YouTube.
And Hulu, you said.
Well, I've got Hulu for like...
That's $150 right
but
there.
see, we spend extra for the no commercials.
Yeah.
And to me, that's worth every freaking nickel.
I don't remember.
So it's the guy who makes his living making commercials.
Yeah, but radio commercials are different. They're fun, they're interesting, and people tend to not change the channels as often.
Well, I like the TV commercial with the emu. I like that.
I'm tired of those.
No.
I miss the one.
You're just a flightless bird.
I'm
you
just
get tired of that?
I miss the Rob Lowe Geico commercials and the Bigfoot beef jerky ones. I want those ones back.
Jesus.
The Rob Lowe Geico commercials.
You know, the Bigfoot beef jerky ones, the product's not very good.
Well, I don't eat beef jerky. I just like
do.
the one where he was hitchhiking and they taunted him and then he threw him into the tree. That was the very first one. But no, the Rob Lowe Geico ones. Remember when he found the sushi on the subway? Those were hilarious. Yeah. But no, it was fun talking to Payton. Yeah, we'll get Coach McCollum on, I assume, sometime next week. Like I said, I'm shooting for Wednesday or Friday would be my preference. But a lot of it's going to depend on his schedule, too. I mean, we have a 2-hour window to try to fit him in between 9 and 11.
Friday would be even better, I think.
Friday would be the best.
Yes, it would.
Because then I think we're going to know more by Friday. I mean, Monday there may not be any change. I will say, Payton, I mean, I think he would be very happy if Price comes back to Iowa.
I think so.
He's obviously not putting any pressure,
No.
and I think he's made it sound like there's a chance he may not. They may not be able to. I mean, I don't think Price Sandfort should have to give up $200,000 or $300,000 to come here.
No.
So, and I that's up to Iowa. I would think if it's one of those things where Price wants to be here, if all things were the same and fair, Iowa's got to figure out a way to make
And
that
I think
work.
part of it's going to depend on how much Price has enjoyed being at the University
and
of
it
Iowa.
sure seems like he has.
It does.
Payton loved it. You could tell Payton loved it. And
that was even with the crowds not being all that,
Yeah, it was tough hearing him talk about that because if any Hawkeye deserved a crowd, it's him.
Yeah, for sure.
Just with the way he played, how much he loved the school, and he could have made more money somewhere else last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say it. I mean, Fran had to help raise money to give Payton a package that was just fair, and that's just kind of where they were. But now I know Payton did turn down money.
Yep.
And because he wanted to be a Hawkeye. But Payton also I think Payton's confident thinking he's going to make some money playing professionally, and then he's going to make money in real life, too, because he's smart, and he's a finance major.
Oh, you could tell he's smart.
Oh, yeah. And you're not an academic All-American.
Extremely well spoken.
You're not an academic All-American multiple years majoring in finance if you're not smart. I mean, it's just
well-grounded.
Great future ahead of him, whatever he decides to do. And I hope he makes it in the NBA. I really do.
And then there's us.
Yeah, and then there's us. That cheating on that algebra test, look what it got me. I'm sitting here. That's a life lesson right there. Not to cheat.
Yes, it is.
Life's lesson not to cheat.
That's karma.
It got me through that day, but it didn't get me through life.
And now you're in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah, with a bunch of bugs.
Talking about Pink Floyd.
Bugs and ladybugs. What about the ladybugs?
Well, they're not. I don't.
Japanese beetles.
Yeah, they're Japanese beetles.
Oh, excuse me.
So they're different.
Excuse me. They look exactly alike.
Yeah, America first.
Yeah.
Okay,
deport them. Can we deport them?
I wish.
There's too many of them.
Where's Tom Homan when you need him?
Yeah.
So we done, guys?
Yeah,
no, we're more than done. Thanks again, Payton Sandfort, for coming on.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we sure did. All right, Hawkfanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather.